Alma sat quietly in the lively Nairobi airport lounge, her fingers nervously tapping her leather bag. At 65, she felt out of place among the younger travelers around her. This trip to Africa was meant to be an escape, a chance to break free from the loneliness that had taken over her life since her husband passed 2 years ago. But even here, loneliness had followed her. As she shifted in her seat, a young man entered the lounge, his confidence catching her attention. He was tall, with a bright smile that lit up the room. Alma watched as he interacted effortlessly with the staff and travelers. When their eyes met, his expression softened and he walked over. "Excuse me, ma'am, do you need help with your bag?" he asked, his deep voice warm and inviting. Alma hesitated but nodded. She had been struggling with the heavy suitcase since leaving the hotel, but her pride had kept her from asking for help. "Thank you," she said softly as the young man easily hoisted the bag onto his shoulder. "It's no trouble," he replied with a grin. "It's part of my job as a guide. Are you here for the safari tour?" Alma nodded, surprised by his intuition. "Yes, it's my first time in Africa. I've always wanted to visit, but life got in the way." Musa, as he introduced himself, studied her for a moment before saying, "Well, you're here now. That's what matters." They continued talking as they waited for their groups to be called. Musa shared stories about his work as a guide and his dream of one day owning his own tour company. Alma felt drawn to his enthusiasm, something she hadn't felt in years. "What brought you here?" Musa asked, breaking her thoughts. Alma hesitated, unsure how to express the grief of losing her husband and the solitude she'd been living with. Instead, she gave a small smile. "I guess I wanted an adventure." Musa nodded, understanding. "Africa is full of adventures, you'll see." When the announcement came for their groups to board, Musa helped Alma with her bag once again. As they parted ways, he flashed a playful smile. "Maybe we'll meet again. The world has a funny way of bringing people together." Alma watched him leave, feeling a strange flutter in her chest. She shook her head, chiding herself for the thoughts racing through her mind. He was young, vibrant, and full of possibilities. Yet, for the first time in years, she felt a faint spark of excitement and hope. The safari began, and Alma marveled at the vast African landscape as the jeep bounced along the uneven path. Musa, sitting in the driver's seat, glanced at her and smiled. "Keep your camera ready. This area is known for its elephants." Alma adjusted her hat and aimed her camera at the horizon. "It's incredible," she murmured. "I've never seen anything like this." Musa chuckled. "That's the magic of Africa. It surprises you when you least expect it." Later, Musa helped Alma out of the jeep, and they walked toward a shaded area where elephants grazed. As the afternoon stretched on, their conversation grew more personal. Alma shared her past as a teacher, the joy she had in shaping young minds, and the emptiness she felt after her retirement. Musa listened closely, his eyes full of understanding. "When I was younger," he said, "I thought life would get easier with age. But hearing you talk, I realized the challenges just change." Alma smiled faintly. "It's not the years that weigh you down. It's the things you lose along the way." Musa looked away, his expression distant. "I lost my father when I was 15, he said quietly. "That's why I started working so young, to take care of my family." Alma hadn't expected such vulnerability, but it deepened her respect for him. "You've done well for yourself, Musa. It's not easy to face hardships and still carry yourself with grace." Musa met her gaze, and for a moment there was no age difference. No cultural divide, just two people connecting over shared pain and resilience. Later, around the campfire, Musa's charm again pulled others in. But when his eyes met Alma's across the fire, there was a softness in his gaze that seemed meant just for her. As the night grew colder, he offered her his jacket. Alma hesitated, but accepted, feeling the warmth of his touch as their fingers brushed. That night, as she lay in her tent, Alma couldn't stop thinking about the strange connection she felt with Musa. She had come seeking adventure, but now there was something else stirring inside her, a longing she couldn't name. The next evenings, Musa approached Alma with 2 glasses of wine, offering her a small smile. They sat in silence for a while, the firelight casting soft shadows on their faces. Do you ever feel like you're living someone else's life? Alma asked, finally. Like the person you were meant to be got lost along the way? Musa thought for a moment. I used to feel that way, he admitted. After my father died, I felt trapped by responsibility. But then I realized that the life you want doesn't just find you. You have to fight for it. Alma nodded slowly, his words resonating with her. I envy that clarity. I've spent so much time being what others needed me to be, a wife, a mother, a teacher. I don't know who I am outside of those roles. You're more than the roles you play, Musa said firmly. You're here, exploring the world. That takes courage. Their eyes met, and for the first time in a long while, Alma felt truly seen. Without thinking, she reached out and placed her hand on his. The brief touch sent a jolt through both of them. I shouldn't have done that, Alma said, pulling her hand back, flustered. Musa smiled gently. Inappropriate doesn't mean wrong, he replied softly. Sometimes the things we're told not to want are the things we need most. His words lingered between them as he leaned in, his fingers brushing hers once again. The world seemed to shrink, leaving only the two of them in the warm glow of the fire. When their lips met, it was tentative at first, but deepened with each passing moment, a silent acknowledgement of the connection that had been building between them. When they pulled apart, Alma's eyes were filled with unshed tears. Musa wiped one away gently. You're allowed to feel, he said quietly. The next day, the journey back to the city was quiet, filled with unspoken understanding. At the airport, Musa helped her with her luggage for the last time. As they stood at the curb, Alma found her voice. Thank you, Musa, for everything. Musa smiled, bittersweet. You don't have to thank me. You've taught me just as much as I've taught you. Alma smiled, but felt sadness in her heart. I don't know what happens next. Neither do I, Musa replied. But that's life, isn't it? We just have to keep moving forward. Alma hugged him briefly, a silent exchange of emotions before they parted. On the plane, she replayed the memories from the trip. Laughter, conversation, and the kiss. They were memories she would carry with her forever. Though unsure of the future, Alma felt a quiet resolve settling within her. Back home, Alma began writing letters to Claire, sharing her journey of rediscovery without mentioning Musa by name. Months later, she read about a young African entrepreneur who had started a successful tour company. The photo showed Musa standing proudly in front of a safari jeep. Alma smiled, a mix of pride and longing in her heart. Life was unpredictable, messy, and full of surprises. But for the first time in years, she felt like she was truly living.